Okay. So shall we go with moment of inertia?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for moments of inertia, again, there are a lot of derivations. We should do derivation for each and every part, every standard object actually. So for now, what I'll do is I'll just write down what are the formulae for different standard diagrams, and later when I get time, I'll do derivation for each of them, and I'll make a video for derivation of each of them. Okay. Right.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, they will ask derivation or problem.
Derivation may also be asked in part A mostly. For little marks, they'll ask derivation.
Okay.
For more marks, generally it is the problem.
Okay.
So it's called area moment of inertia, or it's also called as double moment of area. Sometimes this word area is ignored. Even if we ignore this, if we just call it as moment of inertia, that will also refer to the same thing. Okay. So name is clear. Now let us see the moments of inertia for some standard diagrams. Fine. So what is the application of this? So before going for this, noting it down, let us discuss a little about application. What is the application of this? Where we are using it? Anyone? Try it. You must have studied this in MOM, mechanics of materials. Where did you use it? Bending of beams. Okay. So Durgesh sir has given you that funny formula, no? What is that? Elizabeth something. Elizabeth Rani.
Bending
Yes.
equation.
Yeah, that's what bending equation. So what is the convention? How does he write it? Elizabeth Rani.
May I follow you?
May I? May I come
Follow
in?
you.
Follow
Sigma
you.
by y.
Sigma. Follow you. Fine. So that's funny formula. Fine. So here you see this I. This I is nothing but okay. The same moment of inertia. Okay. So in bending of beams, we use this, and polar moment of inertia. If you are talking about polar moment of inertia, the same equation. If you write for twisting, okay, this is for bending. The same if you write the equation for twisting, instead of E, what we get? E is the Young's modulus, right? So in twisting, we need rigidity modulus. So let's call it as G, and radius it becomes R. And then M is the moment. Instead of moment, you will get torque, and instead of I, you get J. J is the polar moment of inertia. Then stress, instead of stress, you get shear stress, and instead of Y, again you get R. I think there is some difference here. I'm a little doubtful about this. Fine. So these are the two equations. Fine. So here this is polar moment of inertia. So these moments of inertia, they help us in calculating how easily we can bend objects of different bend beams of different cross sections. Fine. They help us in identifying how easily we can bend beams of the given cross section. So that's the application. Is it clear? Now let us see different standard objects and what are the moments of inertia for those. Fine. So first let us put diagram. Then we'll take IXX and then we will take IYY. Okay. Ready? So what's the first standard diagram? What's the first one? First one is rectangle usually, right? Am I correct? Then let us say this length here, let us say it is B. This here, you can in some books call this as H, the height. Some books call this as depth, D. Fine. So depending on what book you're following, it will be different. Fine. Then coming to axis. Fine. The axis, depending on the axis, this value will be different. Fine. Depending on where we take the axis, the moment of inertia will be different. Fine. So this axis here is called XX axis. This axis is called XX axis. Fine. And let's take one more axis here. This axis here, let's call it as 1 axis or base. It is base. Okay. Let's call it as base. So here what we have to do, so both these formulae will come together. Here itself, IXX, IYY. And here let's write I11 or I base. Okay. So now what is the formula for IXX? What is IXX?
H cube by
BH cube by
12.
12. Fine. Then IYY. B and H will interchange. B and H will interchange. So instead of B, we write H. Instead of H, we write B. Remaining things remain the same. Okay. This is IYY. Okay. So yes. Yeah. D. See, H and D are changed in different books. Fine. Some books use H for height. Some books use D for depth. D is for depth. H is for height. So both mean one and the same. Both mean one and the same. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So from book to book it varies. It doesn't matter what you use, but you should understand the meaning of it. You should understand the meaning of it. Okay. Now let us see what is the base. So okay, calling it base will be a little confusing. Instead of that, let me call it as 1. Fine. So this is 1 axis at the bottom. Okay. So about 1 axis. So how to find it? What is I11? Okay. What's this? What's this point here? What's this point here? It is the centroid. Fine. So the axis passing through the centroid is called centroidal axis. Axis passing through centroid is called centroidal axis. So both XX and YY. XX and YY, what are they? They are centroidal axis. So when I'm using E, it means plural, more than one. When I'm using I here, it means single axis. Okay. So XX and YY, they are called centroidal axis. But 1 and 2 they are base axis. They are base axis. Fine. So 1 here I have shown. 2 will be here. So this is 2. Okay. So 2 and 1 so those are the axes. So what is I11? What is I11? So for this, let us use the transfer formula. What is the transfer formula? Transfer formula tells us that if you want to find moment of area about any axis which is parallel to centroidal axis, then it's equal to the moment of inertia about centroidal axis plus a into d square, where d is the distance between the two axes, where d is the distance between the two axes. So now if you apply this here, so ixx is here, this one, ixx is here, this one, and d value, what is the value of d here? D is h by 2. D is h by 2. And area, what is area?
H into B.
Yeah, area is b into h or h into b, whatever you want to write. And d value is h by 2. So substitute all these and find, what do we get?
BH
What do we get?
cubed by 2s.
Bh cube by? You see, this is bh cube by 12. This is bh cube by 12. And then here we get bh cube by 4. Bh cube by 4. 1 by 12 plus 1 by 4 is how much? 1 by 12 plus 1 by 4. 1 by 4 is common. Here we have 3 plus 1, 4, 4 by 3. So this is 1 by 3. So bh cube by 3. Bh cube by 3. Similarly, I22 will be, just replace b and h. So hb cube by 3. hb cube by 3. Okay. So what is this formula called? This formula, what is it called? What is this formula called, ma? Transfer formula. It is called transfer formula. Okay. So transfer formula can be used to find moment of area about any axis that is parallel to the centroidal axis. Parallel to the centroidal axis. So this is our first standard diagram. Fine. This is our first standard diagram. Next, the second one. What is the second one? Yes, ma.
Triangle.
Ama?
Triangle of circles.
Triangle. Okay, let's go triangle next. Take the round one. It's better. Okay. So here's our triangle, right? So centroid, where it will be? Centroid will be somewhere here, right? So centroidal axis, it will be here. This is centroidal x-axis, xx axis. Fine. Then here, this axis is 1 axis. Okay, 1 axis, and once again the lengths. This length here, how much is this? Once again, I'll take it as b, and this distance. This distance, again, some books call this as d, the depth. Some books call it as h. I personally like the h because it gives me the height. Fine. Depth, it's slightly confusing for me, so I avoid using the depth. So now tell me again, what is ixx here? What is ixx? Bh cube by 36. Bh cube by 36. Iyy. Okay, Iyy is complicated, so just we'll just leave it. Fine. So Iyy depends on whether it is symmetric or not symmetric or all other things. Fine. So ixx, we have written it down. Then what about I11? What about I11? Once again, follow this. Ixx plus AD square. Ixx plus AD square. Fine. So Ixx is this here. Area is how much? Area is how much? What is area? Half base into height, right? So area is this much, and what is D? What is D? D is this distance. How much is D? How much is D?
H by 3.
H by 3. Yes. So A, D, substitute here, simplify the formula. What do we get? Come on, solve it. So BH cube by 36 plus area, that is, I'll just write it as BH by 2 into D, that is H by 3, square of this. So what I can do is BH cube, and by 6 I can take common, right? 3 3 is a 9, 9 to the 18. Yeah, 18 completely can be taken common. What's left in the bracket? 1 by 2, isn't it? Plus 1. Am I correct? So BH cube by 18, 1 by 2 plus 1 is 3 by 2. So simplify it. So 3, 6 is 18, 6 2 is 12. So BH cube by 12. Isn't it? So remember the transfer formula. Remember the transfer formula. If you know the transfer formula, and suppose after solving everything in the exam, you have time, so you can just do the derivation and find out, right? You can just do the derivation and find out. Always connect the formulae together. Always connect the formulae together. Fine. So that anytime, even if you don't have the book, you should be able to find those formulae, and use it to solve any problem. Fine. So this is understood. Any doubts here? This is for the triangle. So now most of the times what happens is triangles, the standard diagrams of the triangles, we will have to consider them like this. Okay. Someone's trying to tell something, but it's not clear. Please put in the chat or ask your doubt in the WhatsApp. Someone please keep a look at the chat and WhatsApp, because I'll be watching here this. Okay, so most of the times the standard diagrams, we have to take it as a right angled triangle. Fine. So even if our triangle is not a right angled triangle, what we have to do is we have to divide it into two triangles, 1 and 2. Fine. And the result of both we have to take it. So that's how we'll be solving for triangle. That's how we'll be solving for the triangle. Fine. So what is the next diagram? What is the next standard diagram?
Circle.
Yes, ma'am.
Circle.
Circle. Okay, good. Okay, let's take the circle. Okay. Circle center point is here. Once again, the axis. Yeah, this is the x-x axis. This is the y axis. Okay, x-x axis, y axis, and we also have one more axis. Which axis? Which axis we have, ma? Z axis. Fine. So these are the three axes we have. Fine. So we should know the formula for all three. Actually, in derivation, we first find the IZZ. During derivation for circle, we first find IZZ. It's in some books it is also written as J. What is J or IZZ? What is J or IZZ? The polar moment of inertia, isn't it? So I told you here, the J value which you are using in the twisting equation, that is called as the polar moment of inertia. So what is this value here? What is the value of J for a circle? Pi r power 4 by 2. Pi r power 4 by 2. Now most of the books write it in the form of diameter, and diameter actually confuses me a lot. I don't know about you. If it doesn't confuse you, then you can remember it that way. So in terms of diameter, what it will be? Pi d4 4 by what is this? 2 power 4 is a 16. 16 to the 32. Okay. So if you are comfortable remembering in diameter, you can use that. If you are comfortable using radius, you can use this. Fine. So 32 is a very big number, and most of the times I get confused between 32, 64, which one it is and all. So that's why I keep it simple with 2. Fine. So I usually go with radius. But anyway, and your calculator does most of the hard work, right? Calculation part and all. So we don't have to worry about complications. So in the old days, of course, because they didn't have calculator and all, they had to keep it like that. Now we don't have the need for that. Anyway, now IXX and IYY both will be equal. IXX and IYY both will be equal, and they will be half of the IZZ. They'll be half of the IZZ. Fine. So putting this in the formula, we get pi r power 4 by 4, or in terms of diameter, pi d power 4 by 64.
64.
Okay. So IXX and IYY both are like this. And what is the relation between IZZ and IXX? IZZ is equal to IXX plus, IXX plus IYY. So this relation, okay, this is called perpendicular axis theorem. What is it called? Perpendicular axis theorem. Okay. So this is also a transfer formula. Perpendicular axis is also a transfer formula. This is also a transfer formula. So both are the transfer formulae. Fine. So this transfer formula helps us to find moment of area about a perpendicular axis, about an axis which is perpendicular to both x and y. Whereas this one, it is helping us to transfer the moment of area about a parallel axis. And that's why this is called parallel axis theorem. Parallel axis theorem. Okay. So if you are asked what is transfer formula, you should write both of these. If you are asked what is transfer formula, you should write both of these. If you are specifically asked parallel axis theorem or perpendicular axis theorem, you have to write whatever is asked. Is this clear? Any doubts here? Any doubts here?
Sir, can we use perpendicular axis theorem for other figures also?
Yes, definitely you can use for other figures also. So for
I mean,
example, if you have a rectangular beam and you are twisting it, fine, you are twisting about this axis, then you have to find J. So J will be IXX plus IYY. Fine. J and IZZ both are same, right? So either J or IXX, whatever you want to find for twisting purpose, you have to find it as the sum of both. Clear? Okay, ma?
yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So that's the thing. Okay. So just keep this short. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Now, circle is very simple. Of course, it's symmetric, and there is not much problem with that. Once again, you can apply the parallel axis theorem to find the moment of area about any parallel axis. Fine. But now we are interested in something. We are interested in half of this. Okay. Half of it. So what is this? Okay.
Semicircle.
Semicircle. Oh. Okay. So for this semicircle, you gotta be careful with that. Okay, so y-axis will remain at the same place, right? Y-axis will remain the same place because the centroid is located here. This is the centroid. So y-axis will be at the same place. Y-axis will be at the same place, right? X-axis, however, x-axis, however, will be here, and here we will have this. Is this axis? This axis is 1 axis. This axis here is I-XX axis. Fine. Now, for this, first we will be able to find I11. What will be I11? What will be I11? You see this lower part, we are removing it. The lower part we are removing it. So what will happen is, for a circle, whatever is I-XX, for a circle, whatever is I-XX, okay. Let me take this. Okay, I-XX. For a circle, whatever is I-XX, what we have to do? We have to take half of this. So this I-XX, what we have to do? We have to take half of this. Fine. So when we take half of this, what happens? Uh-oh. Whoa. What happened? Yeah, here. What happens here? It will be half of this value, right? Half of this value. What happens? Pi r power 4 by 8. But this is not the centroidal axis, no? This is not the centroidal axis. Centroidal axis is here. Centroidal axis is here. So how to find XX, IXX? How to find IXX? We have to use the transfer formula, the parallel axis theorem. We have to use the parallel axis theorem. How much is this distance, ma? How much is D here? For a semicircle, what is the value of D? In centroid, you have learnt it now. 4r by 3 pi, right? You must remember it always. Fine. Everything in mechanics is interconnected. It's interconnected. Fine. So if you remember the first one, it's easy to connect it to the second. So D value is 4r by 3 pi.
Sir, while
Yes.
solving problem, they will mention, sir, it is a semicircle, circle.
You see, you should understand. I have shown you the quality of diagrams provided, right?
Okay. Yes, sir.
That sometimes they are worst, right? You should be good at understanding it. Read between the lines. So that can happen if you practice more number of problems. Okay, so with practice only you will be able to get an understanding about how to identify diagrams, right?
Right, sir.
There is no shortcut. So IXX parallel axis theorem we want to use. So what we should write here? I'm writing the formula. You tell me what is the mistake. Is it correct?
No, sir.
No. What's the
IXY,
mistake?
sir.
Yes.
IXY.
IXY. Yeah. No. Here it is X only. What is the mistake here?
I11 plus AD square.
Yeah. I11 equal to IXX plus AD square, isn't it? So this thing. Let me take this. This thing. Where it has to be? It has to be on this side, right? It has to be on this side. But when we transfer it here, what happens? When we transfer it here, what happens? Uh-oh. Animation. Okay, I lost something. Yeah, there it is. Yes, ma'am. What happens here? This should become minus now when it goes to the other side. When it goes to the other side, it becomes negative, right? So apply it. Apply it. I11 is pi r power 4 by 8 minus area. What is the area of semicircle? Pi r square by
Pi r
2.
square by 2.
And what is d value? 4r by 3 pi square. Calculate. So here r power 4 I will take common and remaining stuff you please calculate. If you calculate you will get 0.11. 0.11. Check it and confirm, is it the same? Okay, so this is the formula for IXX. What about IYY? IYY, who will tell me IYY? I'm waiting. One of you please tell me what is IYY?
Same as that of circle, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Same as that of circle.
Same as that of circle. Are you sure? We are cutting the circle into two parts. We are taking only one half. And how can it be same as circle, ma'am? Use CS. CS is very important for an engineer. A lot of times you don't have to do complicated calculations. Our class is up to 10:20, right? We have 10 minutes. Let's speed up. Come on, tell me. I already told you here the bottom part we are cutting it away, right? So after cutting it away, what will happen? It will reduce by 2 now. It will reduce by 2. So again it will be pi r power 4 by 8. Pi r power 4 by 8. So here I11 and IYY both will be same. I11 and IYY both will be same. Okay. Next, let's take up okay. What's this? What about this? So where is the centroid? Centroid. Centroid is here, right? Oh, that's line. Huh? Centroid is here, right? So this is IXX. This is sorry, XX. This is IYY. Here, okay, parallel to the base, we get 1 axis, and here we get 2. Okay, now tell me again the formula. Tell me the formula, ma'am. Fast. What will be IXX? What is IXX?
I11 minus AD square.
It will be half of the IXX that we found here. Okay. So 0.11 R power 4 by 2. Okay. And IYY will also be the same. IYY will also be the same. What about I11? What about I11? It will be 1/4 of the circle. 1/4 of the circle. Pi R power 4 by 4. So it is pi R power 4 by 16. That will be same as I22. Clear? Any doubts here? Yes, ma. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Clear? Everything is clear? You should by heart all this formulae that we have written here. You should be able to tell IXX, IYY. Those two are specially important. If you remember IXX, IYY using the transfer formulae, you can find moment of area about any other axis. Okay? IXX, IYY. Those two are very, very important. So next, let's take up a simple problem. And let me pick it from your previous paper. Oh, wait. Where is your previous paper? It's loading. So meanwhile, yes, ma'am.
Sir, in short answers, in one question paper, I have seen that state the
Hmm.
law of transmissibility means what, sir?
Yeah, that is from first unit. That is from first unit. Let me explain. Okay, I'll add it here. Suppose you have an object. Okay, shape is not important. Shape is not that important. Fine. And to remember it easily, don't take it no in any other way. I do it like this. Fine. So please don't misunderstand it. Fine. I'm telling it again. I'm telling it so that you can easily remember it. That's it.
Okay,
And
sir.
don't write like this in exam also. Fine. So you all remember this diagram and what it means. Fine. I don't have to tell you. So let us say there is a force here, F. Let us say there is a force here, F. Okay. So law of transmissibility tells us, the law of transmissibility, it tells us that we can transfer this force, we can transfer that force anywhere on the line of action. Anywhere on the line of action. This line is called line of action. Fine. And this line of action will go both ways. Fine. So even it will continue on this side also. So this is the line of action for this particular force. Are you getting it? This is the line of action for that particular force. So what transmissibility tells us is that this force can be replaced by another force. That force can be replaced by another force along the line of action. That force can be replaced by another force along the line of action. Okay, so even if I transfer this force over here, value should be same, magnitude should be same, direction should be same, and it should be along the same line of action, then their effect on the object will be same. Fine. This is called law of transmissibility. So now generally we use this in the problems. We use it in the problems wherein suppose the force is given here. And we want to find moment about this point, MA. Fine. So instead of pulling it from this point, what we do is we replace it with a force here. So then what happens is we can easily get the perpendicular distance. So this is where we apply the law of transmissibility. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, we can use in beams also, sir. This.
No, I have not come across in beams. Yes, of course we can use it.
Because we have point
beam
load, na, sir,
problems.
that.
Beam problems you are telling, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can use it. But there is no other point to apply it, right? So along the line of action only you can transmit it. Fine. So this is the line of action. So you can transfer the force anywhere on the line of action. So instead of pushing the beam, you can pull it from down. That is the only thing you can do. Okay.
Sir, when we are changing upwards to downwards, then the sign will change, no, sir?
No. Sign, why will it change? You see, this is acting downwards. Right now.
In beams clockwise, anti-clockwise there, no, sir?
No. That will remain same. I'll explain. Listen. You see, this is acting downwards, right? So when we transmit it, still it is acting downwards, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right.
I understand.
So yeah, the vertical and horizontal will remain the same. And when we are taking moment about some point, this force, the red force, how it is turning it? It is turning it anti-clockwise. And how the green force is turning it? Again, it is turning anti-clockwise. Fine. So it doesn't have any effect. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I was opening your previous paper. Okay. The time is up. What is the next class?
Metallurgy.
Okay, so you go and join that class. We'll continue discussion in the next one. And in next class, probably we'll take up one or two problems. You see here, T here.
Can you show the problem?
I didn't share you this. No. So both the question papers I'll share to you on your WhatsApp. Okay, is that enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So where is the link? Oh, here it is. This is one paper. There's one more. Here. Link. Copy. Okay. So 2 sets of paper. Each PDF has multiple papers in it. Okay. Try to solve as many problems as possible from it. If you come across any doubts, please raise it in the live classes. Some of the problems I will just record them and I'll put it on YouTube. Links will be shared. You can watch it. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Can you make the video of another method of trusses, sir?
Truss, yeah, parallel axis. What is that? Method of sections, right?
Okay.
Yeah, sure. it will take some time because those problems take a lot of time. You see, even this method of joints, even though the video is just 20 minutes, it required me more than 1.5 hours to actually record it. I'll do it, ma. It may take some time, but I'll do it eventually.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.